Welcome to an exciting half hour of Caribbean Connection, honoring local reggae legend Ras Jahn Bullock, member of Loose Caboose and the Alchemystic bands, with guests, his wife, Elizabeth Loving, Bob Marley's biographer, Roger Steffens, and two former band members, Dave Noonan and David Boatwright, who will share their experiences working with Ras Jahn. Plus, lots of great music as we remember the life and legacy of Western Massachusetts' own singer-musician, Ras Jahn. All this coming up on Caribbean Connection. Caribbean Connection is supported in part by Springfield Cultural Council, Agawam Cultural Council, and Chicopee Cultural Council, all local agencies supported by the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and sponsored by the Caribbean American Heritage Month Celebration Committee of Springfield, Mass., celebrating June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. And now, your hosts, Jeremy and Maurice Lindsay.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Caribbean Connection. I'm Jeremy Lindsay.
And I'm Maurice Lindsay. During this episode, we'll be honoring the late Ras Jahn Bullock, a member of the Loose Caboose and Alchemistic bands. We'll speak with Ras Jahn's wife, Elizabeth Loving, and his friends Roger and Mary Steffens.
And I'll be highlighting some of Ras Jahn's musical performances. First up, let's begin with one of Ras Jahn's most popular songs, Do You Know Jah?
Do you know Jah? Rastafari. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Bum-dooley dooley, bum-dooley, bum-dooley dooley, bum-dooley dooley, bum-dooley, bum-dooley dooley, bum-dooley dooley, dooley dooley, bum-dooley, bum-dooley dooley, bum-dooley, bum-dooley dooley.
Welcome back to Caribbean Connection. Ras Jahn's legacy and music have left a profound impact on all who knew him. Joining us now is actor, writer, and Bob Marley's biographer, Roger Steffens, and his wife, Mary, who will share their memories of Ras Jahn. Roger and Mary, welcome to Caribbean Connection.
I first met Ras Jahn through a mutual friend, Colin Leslie, who was the head of Bob Marley's companies in Jamaica in the 1970s. And he produced an album in 1982 at Bob Marley's studio, a year after Bob passed away, with a group from Massachusetts called Loose Caboose. And he sent me a copy of the album, and I was so taken by it. I played it on my radio show on KCRW here in LA, and that show eventually got syndicated to 130 stations around the world, and I played Ras Jahn's music on both those shows and introduced him to a much wider audience than he had strictly performing around New England. And I was so impressed by him, and eventually got on a double bill in the University of Massachusetts with Loose Caboose, with my Life of Bob Marley multimedia show. And I think the first thing that surprised me after having talked to him several times on the phone when I showed up in person and met him, he was a black man. And I know some of the other members of the band were white, and I just took it for granted that he was a white guy too, you know, doing an American reggae band. And that was a very pleasant surprise to me. And we hit it off immediately. We both had the same kinds of sense of humor. And he made me laugh a lot, and I made him laugh a lot. Nothing was better than hearing Ras Jahn laugh. And when did you first meet him?
And so we went to the airport to pick up Ras Jahn in Las Vegas, and off he came from the plane, and he truly looked like the living identity of a leprechaun. He was wearing a completely Irish green outfit from head to toe, and he had on an Irish green hat like a leprechaun would wear. And there he was with his very black skin. It was just an amazing sight. And then as we got into Las Vegas and got into our motel, and then we went off to the convention, walking down the street, people would come up to Ras Jahn and pinch him for good luck because he looked like a leprechaun. It was absolutely marvelous, and I will never forget that.
And once we walked into one of the casinos with him, a crowd grew around him. Nobody was sure who he was, but he was obviously somebody special, and everybody coming up like that.
Pinching him. It was great.
And he took it with a good spirit.
Oh yeah, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He was like a magnet. People would look at him, and of course he dressed in a very unconventional way. He dressed like a true Rasta elder. And so people were attracted to him simply because of his style. And I had an experience when medical marijuana became legal in California. It wasn't legal in Massachusetts. And when John came out to visit us, he very much wanted to go to a dispensary. And there was a dispensary in West Hollywood called The Pharmacy. And I took him. And he, of course, was dressed in his usual wonderful, colorful outfit with a hat, locks.
And carrying a staff.
And the pharmacy had a little waiting room. At that time, you had to have an identification card saying that you were legally able to buy medical marijuana. And of course, John didn't have that, so he had to sit in the waiting room and wait for me to go in to the inner sanctum and select whatever it was that we needed. And so I did that. I presented my card and I went into the inner sanctum, and I'm busy looking at all the choices, and all of a sudden I hear a noise and I turn around, and Ras Jahn is in the room with me, with the guy who owns the pharmacy, who has seen him in the waiting room and beckoned for him to come in, and then took him all around the pharmacy and gave him whatever it is that he wanted. That was the magnetism of Ras Jahn.
And he came floating home.
Yes.
He was just so happy to see the future, because he knew eventually it would be legalized in Massachusetts. He was one of a kind, and he was one of the greatest. And I will never forget him.
Coming up, we'll talk to former Loose Caboose band members Dave Noonan and David Boatwright. Also, Elizabeth Loving will join us, plus more music from Loose Caboose Band when Caribbean Connection continues. Next.
America is a nation of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures and peoples, including Caribbean, who contribute to the rich diversity of American society. Like Joseph Sadler, aka Grandmaster Flash, Karine Jean-Pierre, Borin Toussaint, Derek Luke, Kamala Harris, Reno Wilson, Heather Headley. We honor their contributions and commemorate June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. Join us, celebrate June.
Every Saturday, WTCC presents Caribbean Culture. Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Home of reggae and soca's biggest stars. Join Maurice Lindsay, Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. For quality video productions for your business, contact Lindsay Entertainment Network. Lindsay Entertainment Network can help you produce quality and effective television commercials for your business, including corporate business video, annual report, training video, or documentary, music video, or concert videos. Contact Lindsay Entertainment Network online at lindsayent.com for all your HD quality and effective video production needs at lindsayent.com. Welcome back to Caribbean Connection. Joining us now are two former Loose Caboose band members, Dave Noonan and David Boatwright, to share their memories of Ras Jahn. Gentlemen, welcome to Caribbean Connection.
I was a union stagehand with Ras Jahn, and we started to get friendly, and he invited me to come play. And I said, sure. The fans were loyal, the music was great, there's a lot of love, you know, at the gigs. He's a great guy, you know, he was quiet. He smoked a lot, he laughed a lot, he was always listening. So like when I got to know him, he appreciated my jokes, you know, I wouldn't even think he'd be listening, I'd just be, you know, cracking a joke, and all of a sudden I hear this chuckling over on the side of the room, and he was digging it, and so he was definitely an attentive person. There was a time when he got out of the hospital, Charlemagne came up, you know, that was probably 6 months before, but then Charlemagne, and he climbed on stage, and the whole place just stood up, and you know, Roger Steffens has the Bob Marley Archive. Well, Ras Jahn had the Western Mass Reggae Archive Plus, and people love Ras Jahn, and all the reggae veterans. You know, Ras Jahn always brought veterans from Boston or New York or Hartford, whoever could make it, who he could afford, and so those are always great times, and I have good memories of that stuff.
The original Loose Caboose was a four-piece rock band, pretty much, and it comprised of two brothers, Jonathan on lead guitar and Alan Dorr, D-O-R-R, on bass. Now Ras Jahn started to visit at our gigs, and so at one point Monda, the girl, said, you know, Ras Jahn's a great singer, why don't you have him sit in and do No Woman No Cry? So we did that. Went over great. We realized this guy's a tremendous singer. And then there was another gig we played, and so the people were going nuts. I think it was actually a biker party in Connecticut. People were going nuts. Yeah, let them out. No, one more. So we did Harder They Come, went over a storm. So then we got, this is the cosmic part to me, is that by now it's like the middle of 77. So right at the point where, you know, Culture did that song, When the Two Sevens Clash, right at that point, 7/7/77, that was the exact time that Ras Jahn joined our band. And so now we had a Rastafarian lead singer. And so we went for a few months, we did a lot of, continued doing quite a few different styles. And then we said, no, you know, we should just really concentrate on reggae. So we did.
Also joining us now is Ras Jahn's wife, Elizabeth Loving. Elizabeth, I'm so happy to have you join us as we remember Ras Jahn. You knew him better than anyone. Tell us about Ras Jahn. How did you two meet?
In 1978, I met Ras Jahn at a Loose Caboose show. We had mutual friends, and my first husband had passed away 6 months or so before, and they were trying to get me to go out. So I went out, and there was this great dance band, and this lead singer with this very interesting hair. And he was very friendly, and in the break he stopped and said hello, and so we chatted and just kept going to see them and talking to all of them. And John kind of took a shine to me, so.
Wow.
Well, he was very talented in a lot of different fields. I mean, he was a wonderful singer, had the great voice from the church. You know, he sang in the church with his family. First few gigs, I think he played conga drums in the background and would sing without a mic. And then they kind of brought him to the front and put a mic in front of him because he brought a lot of reggae to the band. They were a blues band, and they played a couple reggae songs, and then they gradually became a reggae band and made it. And he would create outfits that he would want to wear on stage, and I would get out the sewing machine and do my best to make the outfit. That Bob Marley was a big influence on Ras Jahn. It's kind of what drew him to reggae music and opened up a whole world to him. And I know that he loved me very much. And he treated my son as his own son.
Coming up, you will hear from Ras Jahn in his own words as he talks about his musical journey. But now it's time for more music on Caribbean Connection. Here is Ras Jahn and the Loose Caboose Band.
Coming up, our conversation with Ras Jahn and more music ahead when Caribbean Connection continues next.
America is a nation of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures and peoples including Caribbean who contribute to the rich diversity of American society, like Joy Reid, Edwidge Danticat, Alexander Hamilton, Anne-Marie Campbell, Dougie Fred, Patrick Ewing, Nicki Minaj. We honor their contributions and commemorate June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. Join us, celebrate June.
For quality video productions for your business, contact Lindsay Entertainment Network. Lindsay Entertainment Network can help you produce quality and effective television commercials for your business, including corporate business video, annual report, training video, or documentary, music video, or concert videos. Contact Lindsay Entertainment Network online at lindsayent.com for all your HD quality and effective video production needs at lindsayent.com. Every Saturday, WTCC presents Caribbean Culture. Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Home of reggae and soca's biggest stars. Join Maurice Lindsay, Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. Welcome back to Caribbean Connection as we continue to celebrate the life, music, and legacy of Ras Jahn. It's time to hear from the man himself. In his own words, through a series of past conversations, here is Ras Jahn.
Valley, we'd like to play more places because people like to dance, and that's basically what our music is about. People come listen to the music and they dance to it and enjoy themselves. About dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are a tradition that goes back to Africa. It's a part of the black man's heritage. And like the longer my dreads grow, the more my faith, it shows, and the more, the more, like people know, they know you for what you are because they can see you. And, it's like, in our music, we try to get that same kind of vibe out. It's like, I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of the music. I'm proud of the relationships with Bob Marley that Loose Caboose had before, before he passed on to another plane. And I'm proud to be doing what we're doing, and there's a great future in it. A lot of people don't perceive it yet, but then there's others who do perceive it, and for them, it's something truly valuable, that they hold dear. And that's the way we are about our music, and so it is with our fans. When I first joined the band, most of the people we played for didn't know what reggae music was, and had never heard reggae music, had never seen anyone with dreads, and had never really checked too much for the culture, and thought that Jamaica was basically a tourist, a place where tourists go to hang out and, get a suntan and then come back and talk about their experiences down there, drinking rum in the sun. And well, true. When we
Just
first
a tourist
started,
country.
Yeah, when we first started, and people didn't realize that there was anything really culturally happening in Jamaica. And in one sense, music is one of the only ways that a poor man has to express himself. I mean, a poor man can write a poem, but most people don't just listen to poetry. I mean, how many people do you know that are into poetry? I mean, it didn't used to be like that. But now it's like, if you want to get across something that's poetic, you put it to music, and you make the music something that will appeal to people. And if it's something that they can dance to, then that's all the better. Because, I mean, you want to talk about something that's visually exciting.
Why not?
Go to a reggae show.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Marley and the Wailers, when I went to see them, I can't think of anything I've ever seen that was more visually stimulating than watching the Wailers play.
It's time for more music on Caribbean Connection. Here's another performance from Ras Jahn and the Alchemystic Band.
Like dancing street band. Why there's a dance upon the corner. The work is done, so come enjoy the show. There's a dance upon the corner. Drum and bass, wicked, here we go. Positive effect will come to those who let it. Rhythm was the key. Hold on, never quit it. Session after round. Like dancing street band. Why there's a dance upon the corner. Now come and check for what them come play. There's a dance upon the corner. Not no rubber dubber one say yeah. The woman who love it come again and again. That the dreadlock mash up the cushion pain. Session after round. Like dancing street band. Why
Why don't you stay tuned for more Caribbean Connections with Maurice Lindsay.
America is a nation of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures and people including Caribbean who contribute to the rich diversity of American society. Eric Holder, When I Feel, Alfonso Ribeiro, Maxwell, Karen Nelson, Slita Ibans, Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick, Shirley Ralph. We honor their contributions and commemorate June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. Celebrate June.
For quality video productions for your business, contact Lindsay Entertainment Network. Lindsay Entertainment Network can help you produce quality and effective television commercials for your business, including corporate business video, annual report, training video, or documentary, music video, or concert videos. Contact Lindsay Entertainment Network online at lindsayent.com for all your HD quality and effective video production needs at lindsayent.com.
Welcome back to Caribbean Connection. It's my pleasure to once again introduce the talented Ras Jahn and the Alchemystic Band.
What we need is a new life, inspiration, sweet sensation. What we need,
so what we need, y'all,
is a new life, inspiration, sweet sensation.
All right, Straight Street, there we go. Yeah, see, spread hope like Obama, the most charming spinners in yarn thus far. Amidst nonsense, all for the opposite cause. It's not art unless your heart's involved. And no offense or offenses off of the chart. No defense for this intensive inventing this from the squad. A positive message is added to Bob Marr. A little bit of Marvin, Jake, Biggie, and Nas. It sounds all ours, we out of your solar system with wicks like flighted and Concords. And it's no joke, you're heartily hard, harlequins all in your linens and grinning about cars. Let's take a pause, remember when rap was all about change and flavor was saying no half stepping with game. Now you rapping that game? These Mr. Glass artists are actually quite lame.
What we need is a new life, inspiration, sweet sensation. What we need,
it's what we need, y'all.
is a new life, inspiration, sweet
Ladies and gentlemen, did one more, yeah.
We'll love John, we'll live behind. Now we can come together in a way to make things better. Begin to understand that we can never fear the storm. We need a better, much better inspiration.
That brings us to the end of another exciting episode of Caribbean Connection. Thanks to all of our guests, and we thank you for watching.
We hope you enjoyed your journey with us on Caribbean Connection. To learn more about our program series or to provide any comments, visit us online at lindsayent.com. And we'll see you next time on another Caribbean Connection.
Caribbean Connection is supported in part by Agawam Cultural Council, Chicopee Cultural Council, and Springfield Cultural Council. All local agencies supported by the Massachusetts Cultural Council and sponsored by the Caribbean American Heritage Month Celebration Committee of Springfield, Massachusetts, celebrating June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month. Caribbean Connection is a production of Lindsay Entertainment Network.